All right, so you all may have seen all of these tweets that Donald Trump has put out recently, or have come out through his Twitter or his Social Truth or whatever truth handle. Look, once more again, as I said in my earlier videos, all of this is designed to foster an environment of chaos. So here's another thing you also kind of have to understand too. Like, a lot of people are seeing these tweets and they're now making, I guess, assertions around like Trump's mental capacity, his ability to lead, his leadership. And what they're not understanding is that, again, Donald Trump does not operate independent of the U.S. government. Okay, so everything that you see on Twitter or Truth Social that's coming out of his account, or, you know, his handle, so to speak, all of that is being co-signed, signed off on by the U.S. government. The U.S. government and Donald Trump do not operate independently from one another. Donald Trump operates at the behest and at the interest of the U.S. government. So every tweet, regardless of how crazy it sounds and the foul language that's put inside of it and all of that, regardless of all of those things, the U.S. government is the entity that is effectively communicating and conveying this kind of language and rhetoric out to the American public and to the world, for that matter. And that's what you need to keep in mind. Don't get caught up with this idea that Trump is a loose cannon. He's crazy. He needs to be impeached. This is why we all need to go out and vote and, you know, ensure that the Democrats take the House and Senate and blah, 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 so we can impeach Trump. But you're not understanding that the U.S. government is behind those tweets, is behind that kind of communication to the public, to the world. It's the U.S. government that is signed off on that. Donald Trump cannot operate independently from the U.S. government. You have to understand that. And we know this because if he did something that the U.S. government would not sign off on and would effectively undermine the interest of the U.S. government, he would be removed. The government will figure out some way, some context to remove him from his office. That's the truth. So we know that at the end of the day, when he's putting these messages out, he's communicating in the language that he's communicating with, the foul language, the crazy rhetoric, the rhetoric that's insinuating mass casualties in Iran and all those things. All of that is the government. It's the government. Donald Trump does not operate independent of the U.S. government. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Neither did Biden, Obama, Bush, and everyone else before them. They never operate independent of the U.S. government. Every communication, everything that they do, everything that they say is co-signed, authorized, and effectively orchestrated by this same entity, the U.S. government. So just remember, see, when you now have that proper framing, then it all starts to make sense. Then it's like, okay, well, so why did the U.S. government, if the U.S. government is really the one that's, you know, communicating in this way and putting out these kind of comms to the world, why with Biden, they had one particular sort of, I guess, one particular type of style of speech and comms. And then with Trump, they have a different one, right? Like, what is up with that? Well, that suggests that Trump's presidency has been is a part of a strategy to invoke chaos for some greater overarching strategy. That's the whole point. So then it stands to reason that, okay, Trump is basically taking on his role as the chaos machine, the individual that is meant to facilitate and amplify chaos, confusion, angst within the populace. That is his role. Don't look at it like, well, Trump is a loose cannon. He's operating independently. He's doing his own thing. And God, it's just so annoying when I see things like that. I'm even seeing like rhetoric coming from whether it's Tucker Carlson and other folks that, you know, once stood for Donald Trump. they're kind of making suggestions that, the people around him, maybe it's the Tulsi Gabbard, maybe it's the Pam Bondi and the others, and all these people that he picked and selected to be a part of his team, they're the ones that are getting in his ear, telling him lies, telling him things that aren't true, and making him go to war with Iran and make certain decisions and blah, blah, blah. And, kind of making Trump out to be this like guy who had good intentions, but, he's just surrounded by bad influence, and that's why he's making bad decisions and he's doing bad things. And no, it's all a part of the scheme. They're all in it. In fact, I would suggest that maybe those folks that he quote unquote selected really are further away from the overarching strategy, but either way, they're all a part of it. So yeah, like Trump is not this confused little baby that doesn't know what to do, and he's being told to do things and he's just doing it. Like, yeah, I wouldn't say that. They're all a part of these. They're all playing their role in this particular strategy. They're all playing their role, all of them, but Trump in particular is chief to that role. He is at the center of that because, again, they need his personality, his character to be the one that represents chaos and instills confusion and basically, in a sense, some kind of panic or mass panic, not only with civilians, but across the world and even with the markets, right? So that's the whole thing. So don't get confused. The media will make you confused. The media will make it seem as if, Trump is doing his thing and there's folks in the government, like these other politicians, particularly the ones that lean left, are against what he's doing, and this is all wrong and we need to get rid of Trump and blah, blah, blah. But they all know too, like this is all a part of the scheme. Once Trump is out, the next phase of the government will ensue. But Trump is critical to delivering that next step. So don't get it twisted. It's all a part of the plan.